Danica's involvement in Drive for COPD is to raise awareness for COPD in memory of her grandmother who passed away from the disease. Launched in February of 2010, Drive for COPD is the nation's single largest awareness campaign for this disease and aims to help people identify whether they could be at risk for COPD, the nation's fourth leading cause of death. The organization encourages Americans to log on to driveforcopd.com to take a brief 5-question screener to see if they might be at risk for COPD and to talk to a doctor about the results.
It is. It's you have to drive the part, you have to look the part, you have to act the part, you have to speak the part, and it's a package deal these days. And hopefully I've got a couple pieces of the package.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit more about COPD. Now, you're going across the United States, and it's terrific that you're doing this. Where else can people learn about this disease and how to look for the signs of it?
Yeah.
And actually, what are some of the signs that people can recognize?
Well, first off, your first question, where can you go? I would imagine most people have the internet. And driveforcopd.com is where all the information is on the disease. There's a 5-question screener on there to give you a guideline as to the symptoms, which are as few as 100 cigarettes can put you at risk. Obviously over 35, and coughing up phlegm, getting out of breath, doing ordinary things. And I think the tough thing about the disease is that I would imagine just given my experience with people as we grow up. I mean, maybe even myself, as you get older, that you're like, I'm just getting old, you get out of breath, you're like not in as good a shape, maybe some people don't have time to work out and they think that's why, but these symptoms are real and normal things should be normal, and if you get out of breath doing simple things, then there's something wrong. But the screener is a great way to become aware and possibly, even if you do the screener and you seem fine, well, these are things that these are simple symptoms. Do the screener every now and again. Check yourself regularly. Right. Like everything. This is like the day and age of health and awareness, isn't it? We're all eating, healthy, organic food. We take care of ourselves. We have more emphasis on that than ever, and this is just one more thing.
That's terrific. What's the one message you'd like to take away from COPD?
Well, there's no cure. I mean, that's probably the scariest but most blunt statistic, is that there isn't a cure. If you don't do anything about it, and these symptoms continue to get, these symptoms will get worse, and you will continue to lose lung function, and you eventually will, end up like my grandma, and you will be on oxygen, like maybe she was 24 hours a day, and she couldn't even walk anymore. She got very skinny, and it's a terrible thing. And as I tell a lot of people, I was just at Fox News this morning, and I was talking to them after we'd done our segment, and one of the girls said that her dad had it, another person said that his dad had it, and he might not get out of the hospital. And anyway, so one of the ladies said, and I said, you should have talked about it, but she was going to get all choked up, she said, and I said, that's the thing, is that this does not only just affect the person that it's ailing, but everyone around you. I mean, my grandpa had to make sure that my grandma had her oxygen mask on while she slept, that's a lot of work, and it's not that people aren't willing to put up the work, but they not only have to do that, but they have to see you suffer. And, that's hard for people around. I mean, like I said, the girl that I was speaking to, she was going to cry on TV. She couldn't, it's affecting her like that. So, take charge of your health, and if you do something about it, you can, do things to, maintain much more lung function and stop the process, or slow down the process.
Terrific. Great explanation. One thing to mention too, COPD is still being talked about at the tracks too, right?
Yeah, actually last year we started off a campaign in February. It was the Drive for COPD 300. It was the first nationwide race I had been in NASCAR, and it kicked off with a bunch of ambassadors driving across the country in RVs. I unfortunately wasn't able to be a part of it because I was driving around racetracks, but I drove all over the country in RVs and got the word out. And I see the COPD RV at lots of NASCAR races, and they're screening people and, goes to fairs and, big outdoor events where you can get to the people and where there are lots of people outside and roaming around. So no, there's a lot of activation outside of just, me sitting here today and the website.
They were at Michigan International Speedway last year, and I was there at the June race with my family, and my 7-year-old Evan walked through and said, "What's COPD?" because he wanted a free T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's okay.
and we did that,
Everything's
and
okay.
it gave us the opportunity to actually talk about his great grandfather. And so I think, again, and what's going on the tracks, your work is incredible, so thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's it's a platform to speak to your kids about. That's
Right.
exactly a good point. And maybe the next generation will know about it like we know about the campaigns that I explained earlier. That would be a dream come true for the campaign and everybody that's working so hard to get everyone aware of it. Everybody repeat after me: chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
No, as a teacher either.
That's very good.
I'm a teacher.
Well, let's talk about the busy schedule. You have racing both in IndyCar and NASCAR. What are the next few races that you have coming up?
Well, I'm not coming to Michigan this year. I came last year. And there won't be, unfortunately, there's no Belle race either. That was a real disappointment. I came here a few years ago when I was racing in Belle on Belle Isle, SOP. And Mr. Penske had a huge exhibit here, and so lots of drivers came out. And so I've been here before, but it was a disappointment to lose that race. I thought it was a really good event, but that was the time, unfortunately, for difficulty for car manufacturers. So, but yeah, I've got Loudon coming up next weekend, which is in New Hampshire. I raced in the Nationwide Series last year, and then after that is, I'm so short with my schedule like this. I'm working on a daily basis. Hang on, it's probably Sonoma or Montreal? No, it's Montreal. It's Montreal in the Nationwide.
Yeah.
The Nationwide car, and then I think after that it might be Sonoma
Sure.
for your car. So, yeah, 30 weekends a year now, so it's a much busier schedule.
That's a very busy schedule. Racing in America is a new exhibit that's coming up in the future in the Ford Museum, and it honors innovations and also about breaking barriers. You've been a trailblazer. You've been one of the trailblazers in IndyCar, now moving in NASCAR. As a female racer, what does being a trailblazer mean to you?
Honestly, I think it means not thinking about that. I don't do it because I'm trying to be the first girl to do things. I'm not trying to do it to pave the way for other people. I'm trying to do it because I want to go out there and I want to beat everyone I'm against. That's it. That's what I've been trained to do since I was a kid. My dad didn't let me accept driving go-karts and being a half a second quicker than everyone else out there. He didn't let me be complacent. He wanted me to be a second quicker than everybody. And there was just no backing off, and it was about being the best. So I think it's personally because I don't think about that. I'm aware of the historical things that I do, whether being the first female to win an Indy, and I didn't even have any idea that a girl had won in NASCAR, let alone fifth being the highest. So I don't learn about what I'm saying. Is I don't understand or know what I've done until I've done it. So I don't really think about it. I think about trying to be the best.
And perseverance.
You have to. If you want to be the best, you have to have perseverance, you have to have dedication, and you have to have commitment, and you have to endure the tough days to get to the good days, and knowing that getting through those tough days means there is going to be those good days. It's going to happen, it's going to come if you keep working hard enough. And I feel like, I feel like in my experience, what makes me different than some other people might be that, when you get kicked down, you get back up. And a lot of people do that, but you get kicked down again, and you get right back up again. And it's the second and third and fourth time that you get kicked down that I'll get back up that maybe some other people won't. But you have to do that to become the best. But ultimately, you have to be doing something you love.